Hello friends, welcome to the video lecture series on optical fiber communication. I am Dr. Dafda, and in this 9th video class of OFC, we will understand the topic measuring properties of light, keeping in mind its importance in optical fiber communication systems. Starting with the name, what is the meaning of measuring properties of light? See, measuring properties of light means finding the exact values of its physical observable characteristic or quality, such as speed of light, wavelength of light, frequency of light, photon energy, etc. For example, the speed of light c is equal to wavelength lambda times the frequency f or nu. That is, c is equal to lambda nu, right? Or lambda f. And what is the importance of measuring properties of light? See, measuring the properties of light is important because it enables advancements in technology, medical diagnostics, and scientific discovery. Okay, so let us start. Before we learn how to measure light, let us first look at this figure. This figure shows the electromagnetic spectrum, which contains all types of electromagnetic waves, starting from radio waves, followed by microwaves, infrared waves, visible light, ultraviolet light, X-rays, and gamma rays. All these are electromagnetic waves. They differ only in their frequency, wavelength, and energy. Now see, this colored band is the visible light region, which our eyes can see, okay, and it occupies a very small portion of the entire electromagnetic spectrum. And these are different optical fiber windows which we have already learned ahead. It highlights the three important wavelengths used in optical fiber communication: 850 nanometer, 1310 nanometer, and 1550 nanometer. And these wavelengths are used because optical fibers have very low loss at these wavelengths, allowing the light to travel longer distance efficiently. Now the important question is, how do we describe or measure light? In optical fiber communication, light is mainly described using three properties: wavelength lambda, frequency f or nu, and photon energy E. These properties are related to each other and we will understand them one by one. Let us understand the first two properties used to measure the light, that is wavelength and frequency. Say this blue curve is a light wave traveling from here to here. This highest point of the wave is called the crest and the lowest point is called the trough. And lambda or wavelength is the distance between two successive crests or two successive troughs. In optical fiber communication, the wavelength is usually measured in nanometers or micrometers. Now see these two waves. This wave has many cycles in the same distance. This means it has a higher frequency f or nu. While this wave has fewer cycles in the same distance. This means it has a low frequency or low nu. So frequency tells us how many complete wave cycles pass a point every second, and it is measured in hertz. And this wavelength lambda and frequency f or nu is related by this equation: c is equal to lambda nu. And since the speed of light c is constant, if frequency increases, wavelength decreases, and if wavelength increases, frequency nu decreases. So remember, high frequency means small wavelength and low frequency means long wavelength. Okay. See, in the video of dual nature of light, we studied that light also behaves like tiny particles called photons. So now let us learn the third property used to measure light, which is photon energy. So light also behaves as tiny particles called photons. Every photon carries a certain amount of energy. This energy of photon E is given by E is equal to h nu or hf. H is Planck's constant, which is a constant. So obviously the energy of photon depends on nu or frequency. That is the frequency of light. So a laser produces a light in the form of photons. These photons travel through the optical system and finally reach a photodiode, where they are converted back into electrical signal. And this is exactly what happens in an optical fiber communication system. So this wave has higher frequency. So nu is high. That means photon energy will be also high. That is higher photon energy. And this has lower frequency or lower nu. That means lower photon energy. So remember one simple rule: higher frequency means higher photon energy and lower frequency means lower photon energy. And this concept is very important because lasers generates photons and photodetectors detect those photons in optical fiber communication systems. Now let us understand the relationship between wavelength, frequency and photon energy. We already know the equation C is equal to lambda nu. So if we rearrange, nu is equal to C by lambda, and we also know the equation of photon energy, E is equal to h nu. So in this nu, if we substitute the value of nu from this equation, that is C by lambda, we get E is equal to h, and nu is C by lambda, that is hc by lambda. Now if we combine the constants, that is h, Planck's constant, which is 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second, and C is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 8 meters per second, and converting energy from joules to electron volts and wavelength from meters to micrometers, we obtain E is equal to 1.2406 upon lambda in micrometers. So here, after substituting the values of constants and converting the units appropriately, we obtain the constant 1.2406. So E is equal to 1.2406 upon lambda in micrometers. And remember, the energy E is in electron volts. So this equation is obtained just by combining the first two equations. Now let us solve one simple example. Say the lambda is 1.55 micrometer. Then find the photon energy. So using this equation, E is equal to 1.2406 upon 1.55, which gives us 0.80 electron volt energy. This means that each photon at a wavelength of 1.55 micrometer carries approximately 0.80 electron volts of energy. Okay. Now let us understand an important difference between electrical communication and optical communication. In electrical communication systems, signals are usually identified by their frequency. That is why we commonly use units like kilohertz, megahertz, gigahertz, etc. For example, FM radio stations and mobile communication systems are specified by their operating frequency. Whereas in optical communication system, we do not normally identify light by its frequency. Instead, we identify it by its wavelength. That is why optical communication systems are commonly described using wavelengths such as 850 nanometer, 1310 nanometer, 1550 nanometer, etc. And we know these different standard operating windows for optical fiber communication. So remember one simple rule: electrical communication uses frequency for identification, whereas optical communication uses wavelength for identification. And this is why throughout this syllabus we will mostly use wavelength when discussing optical fiber systems. Okay, and this slide shows the summary of this video lecture. So that is all for this video class. I hope you would have gained a good knowledge from this video lecture. You will find the link to download the PPTs from the description box. Thank you very much.